Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the unsolved problem of the door access at WHS. What's the problem? As a first period release student, walking from the furthest part of the student parking lot, the tennis courts, to the main office every morning, no matter if it's raining, storming, icy, negative 10-degree wind chill, etc., is a problem. As a part of the Student Government Executive Committee, waiting outside and walking to each door of the school to see which one will be open at 7:30 a.m. on a Friday morning when you're just trying to get to a meeting is a problem. Teachers not wanting to wear their IDs as they're supposed to all day is a problem. And letting practically anyone into the school in the morning with no safety precautions is a major problem. So, this is the student parking lot in the black square. The yellow square is where I park, so to give you a visual, on the right side of the yellow square is the tennis courts. Above where I park is the soccer field, and to the left of that is the football field. So if you can see the little red dotted line, that's where I walk from every morning to get to the red circle, the main entry. The yellow circle at the top near the student parking lot is the doors that I would be able to get into if they would let us in there. Instead, I get to walk to Sheridan. But I have the solution. Putting a key fob onto every student and teacher ID for school access from 7:30 to 9:45 a.m. in order to get into school would solve those problems. So what is a key fob? This is Mr. Bruns' keys. So this is the copy machine key. This is the key fob to get into the doors. And then he also has his teacher ID, which is a bit excessive. They could just put it all into one, which would be a lot more helpful. This is my student ID. It took me 4 hours to find this yesterday because I have used this once in all of my high school career, and that was my freshman year. I used it once for homecoming because I needed a form of ID, and I didn't want to bring in my passport or anything like that into the school. I don't know what the barcode is for on here, but it would be helpful if it was to get into the school. So this is an RFID scanner. So this would be the student ID card that we would have, or a teacher ID card. It would act as the same thing. There's little stickers on here, so that would go either into the ID card or onto it, and that's what would make the door open. So this would go on the wall that's near the door. You would put it up to there, and it would let you in. Super simple, super easy, and it ranges from $15 to $50 per scanner. It's very cheap. So you can get into any door in WHS as long as you have your ID. So how would this improve the safety? This would improve safety by ensuring students don't have to stand outside in the cold early in the morning until someone lets them in. This would ensure every student going into the school would actually be a student and would decrease the risk of having school threats, as we have had many times in the past. There are even ways where you can track exactly who and what time someone entered the school, and this would ensure that every student and staff member is safe. So student and staff support. I sent out a survey about a week or two ago, and as the video is playing there, that's my walk into school every day. So that's the hike. It is going 10 times faster than I am, so I sped it up 10 times the speed. And it is 49 seconds long, so that makes my walk from 8 to 10 minutes long. So that's what I do every day. But while that's playing, I sent out a survey last week, and the question was, should students be able to have access to the doors near the student parking lot instead of having to walk around the front office before school or during their release period? The blue is they should have access, and the red is they shouldn't have access. But clearly, as the survey shows, everyone was in favor, the 33 people who responded, everyone was in favor of getting access to those doors. As far as the staff goes, when talking to staff members, I have been informed that the staff don't like wearing their IDs. Clearly. I then asked if getting access to the school with their IDs would increase the amount of time they wear it, and every teacher I've talked to has said yes. I don't think my video will go away, but that's fine. Okay, so other ways to fix this problem. So if the RFIDs are too costly or too confusing, Carmel, for example, has many student parking lots as they have thousands of students, but through talking with students, I have learned that they keep the doors open for first period release students to come into that are near the parking lots. And they have a staff member or a police officer standing there, and once they go in, they just have to show their IDs. So that's quick, easy, costs nothing. So that would be a simple method. You could do rental key cards where they would only have a certain number of key cards that they would hand out, but they could use IDs solely for club leaders, for first period release students, or for students that have injuries and that can't walk all the way around the school, that they can loan or rent throughout the school year. And the last option would be reserved parking. So we could have a reserved parking area for first release students, or we could have that for seniors so that we wouldn't have to walk as far, or that we could loan or rent a special parking pass for closer spots that are more up front towards the main entrance. So, to recap, there are cheap, easy ways to fix this issue at the high school. It would improve safety around the school, and it would make all students and staff happier, and would allow the office staff to focus more on late, sick, or absent students. Thank you.